Hi, I'm Dean. Today I was reading a book under a tree on the grass at a beach in the sun. Bit of drizzle. The book is called You Are Psychic, and You Are Psychic, the Free Soul Method. Free Soul Method is a method created by the author here, Peter A. Sanders, Jr. Now this book talks about our psychic sense or our psychic senses, and it breaks it down into 4 categories, which was intuition, feeling, hearing, and seeing, basically. So the 6th sense that we have is basically 4 senses, which really we're looking at our 5 main physical and then 4 non-physical. So 9 senses is what we really should be aware of. The book says that usually people have a dominant 1 out of those 4, or a dominant 2 out of those 4, and a weak couple. For me, feeling seems to be the dominant 1, and the visual seems to be the weakest 1. I want to read you a passage out of it. Well, not a passage, more like a couple of pages. I didn't really mark where I wanted to start because I'm not very well organized. I don't plan these things out. I'll start here at the beginning of chapter 2, where it says psychic feeling, the body as a psychic antenna. I'm just going to put my glasses on. The reason I'm reading this is it was quite interesting to me, and during reading about it I had some insights to some of my own personal experiences. Of the 4 psychic senses, psychic feeling is the most accessible. It's the easiest to open and to interpret. Surely there were times when you sensed a dangerous situation before the danger became apparent. Surely there were mornings where you woke feeling something wonderful would happen to you that day, and it did. All those inner sensations you probably thought of as gut feelings or instincts are in fact psychic impressions, plucked from the energy field that surrounds us. All people, places, and objects constantly radiate vibrational patterns, and your physical body is like a large antenna able to register and assimilate their meaning as inner feelings. Skipping ahead a little bit. If you are naturally gifted in psychic feeling, your personality profile would read something like this. Primarily you are concerned for and about other people. You can usually sense when something is troubling others and are ready to give yourself freely to help. You trust your feelings implicitly. You are relatively unconcerned about time and deadlines. You make every effort to put others at their emotional ease and expect them to be equally caring about your feelings. At the same time, however, psychic feelers must protect themselves against the vibrational onslaught of psychic pollution in their environment. Many of your negative feelings, tension, depression, anxiety, are not actually yours at all. They are other people's feelings that you are picking up. In most instances, you will understand what is happening to you. In most instances, once you understand what is happening to you, will quickly be released from the effects of those psychic disturbances. Another Free Soul instructor, Dr. Fran Mandel, tells of a client who moved to Manhattan from a small town. For 5 years in New York City, Jill went from doctor to doctor seeking help for her fatigue, anxiety, and feelings of unexplained anger. All of her physical tests were normal. As a naturopathic physician, I thought she might be suffering from a food allergy, but that proved a false trial too. Oddly, Jill said she felt better when she stayed at home, indoors. The symptoms returned only when she went out. I began to sense that Jill was high in psychic feeling, says Fran, and that walking the crowded Manhattan streets was exposing her to the exhaustion, anxiety, and anger vibrations of hundreds of strangers. After Jill learned to understand and control her sensitivity to psychic feeling, she was able to live as healthily in Manhattan as she had before she moved there. The psychic sensitivity Jill didn't know she had been working against her rather than for her, says Dr. Mandel. She had assumed all the negative feelings that overwhelmed her were her own. Psychic feeling is the one extrasensory channel that is most often linked to a physical sensation. Jill actually experienced the physical symptoms of tension and anger. Although your entire body can function as a psychic feeling antenna, that's why you can sense someone sneaking up behind you, the focal point lies in the abdomen from the top of the diaphragm to just below the navel, specifically the solar plexus. What you feel can be as mild as butterflies or as strong as a knot in the pit of your stomach. That the solar plexus functions as a master antenna for psychic feeling should not be surprising. Numerous nerve networks associated with the autonomic or involuntary nervous system are located there, spreading over the abdomen like a latticework of fine wires. The autonomic nervous system not only provides direct access for psychic impressions to the subconscious mind, think about that, but it is also linked to every major organ and most endocrine glands. As such, it maintains and regulates all of the body's vital automatic functions: pulse, blood pressure, fluid balances, respiration, metabolism, and so on, and is viewed, even in medicine, as a natural monitoring mechanism. Moreover, the metaphysics of Eastern beliefs hold that the area of the solar plexus is the energy center, or chakra, most closely linked with creativity and emotions. It is thought to be where the spiritual and physical worlds join. Little wonder, then, that the solar plexus is a key reception area for psychic energy patterns. Here's a picture of where it would be as well. Basically, so my personal experiences are like back in school when I knew everything. I was having a lot of troubles with my stomach at school. I don't really recall exactly what the symptoms and things were. It seems like it was a few lifetimes ago. Kind of was, actually, the way that my life's been. Kind of was. But I ended up with a stomach ulcer when I was about 11 or 12 or something, after seeing several different specialists about these stomach problems. It was just a lot of anxiety and nausea and just bad feelings. And of course, I didn't know what was going on with it. But I didn't like it at school. I was okay at home, you know. When I'd get home, most days after school, I'd go straight home, have a big bowl of fruit. I'd have 5 or 6 pieces of fruit at 3 o'clock, and then I'd go and spend the rest of the evening playing alone with Lego or something like that. And I'd be okay again. But during the school day, and I was exhausted, was just kind of, I guess, reflecting these horrors and angers and anxieties, which, yeah, I didn't really know why I was like that. People didn't know. I seemed like I was happy enough as a child. You know, I was bullied more and more as the years went on, but I think the stomach problems and the sensory types of things were years and years earlier. Before that, I think one caused the other, sort of thing. I seem to just keep absorbing negativity all the time and just building it up and up and up in my stomach. Now, I still have stomach problems, and like when my wife got sick, there was a lot of issues around that, and I had a lot of anxiety of myself, and I basically lost the ability to digest my food, and I basically just lost a lot of weight. What I've experienced in the last couple of years tells me that this stuff is legit. I feel I've got a fairly strong feeling sense now that I'm aware of it, and obviously I would have had that my whole life. So, feeling a little ripped off here, you know, like, what the hell are they teaching us in school? Why aren't they teaching us 9 senses instead of 5? Instead of 9. Anyway, why are they teaching us the 5 senses in school and telling us that none of this stuff exists? Why? When it's stuff that's been talked about for a long time, and so many cultures talk about it. Shouldn't we be taught at a young age how these bodies function? Shouldn't we be taught about how other people's feelings and our feelings can be kind of sensed with each other, instead of trying to look at people's facial expressions? Why aren't we learning how to look at people's aura colors? You know, there are plenty of people that do that, but imagine how many of the problems in your life would have been avoided and prevented if you had learned how to operate these things, this body, in school. Or all of us. You know, if we all had access and had been taught how to identify our psychic senses, you know, we'd be aware of what other people were feeling all the time, and we'd be feeling their pain as well. So we wouldn't be going around hurting each other, would we? We'd be going around helping each other feel good, because that would make us feel good too, and that feels good. Think about it, eh? It's just, these are real basic functions of our body, and we shouldn't be having to sneak around the back doors of Facebook, talking to one another off our wall so that we're not judged as insane by our friends and families about this stuff as adults. Why have we had to search through so much stuff and resist so much stuff to find out about this? You know, there is so clearly a phenomenal amount of suppression that's been put in the way of us accessing books like this. Mostly invisible suppression, mostly brainwashing stuff, programming, conditioning, social conditioning. The suppression system. You know, find out what it is that they're trying to suppress and enhance that, because that's obviously the solution to all the problems, isn't it? That's what they're trying to suppress, that because they know that if they didn't suppress it, they wouldn't be able to control us the way they did. So just find out what it is they're trying to suppress and enhance it. You know, you want to fight against the system, fight against what the system's fighting against. It's not about the politics, it's not about the laws, it's not about the money and the finance and the capitalism and the wars and the environment. None of those things. That's all distraction. It's all distraction. It's to stop us from looking inside ourselves and sensing what we're connected to around us. So just, as I said, figure it out. Figure out what it is they're trying to stop us from doing, and let's just do that. Because at the moment, we're just doing what they're telling us to do, to resist what they're telling us to resist. It's an internal thing. Thanks for listening.